Hello, everyone. My name is Tara, and welcome to Aligning to Love. In this channel, I aim to spread hope, joy, peace, and love to the world by sharing goodness and love within my life. In this video, I wanted to talk more about some happy updates from my life and then going on about more signs from the universe, specifically with seeing signs from loved ones who have passed and how they try to reach out to us to let us know that they're still here and that they love us. So, starting with my personal life bubble updates, I had it was a really busy week. There was a lot packed into it, but there were a lot of fun and unexpected happy parts to it as well. And on Tuesday, which was April Fool's Day, I actually got to celebrate one of my students' birthdays, which is always a special time with the class. And he was so excited about the treats that he got to bring in for his peers, and we shared laughs and just lots of smiles, and it was such a great time to celebrate him that day. And then Tuesday morning, when I came into my classroom, I saw a little plastic bag with some cookies on my table. And that was such a nice, surprising treat. And I realized it was from one of my colleagues and good friends. And she had made chocolate chip cookies for the drama club, and she made extra, and so she gave it to a lot of her colleagues and personally delivered them to the teacher tables within their classrooms. And her cookies are so delicious. And so I was pumped when I saw them there. And that definitely made my day and gave me a little bit more pep in my walk in the morning. And so that was something I was very thankful for. And then the following day, I woke up and I had I had gotten some gifts and some mail, but I never actually had the time to look through them. And I opened up one of my packages, and it was a birthday present that I just never got to open because I had been traveling the last weekend to my parents. And it was from friends in the New York State. And it was a beautiful gift that really represented and symbolized our friendship. And I was so excited and I was so appreciative that they thought of me when they have so much going on in their lives as well. And they're one of the friendships that, I may not see them in months or talk to them in months, and when we catch right back up, it's like no time even went by in that span. And so I'm just always so appreciative of those types of friendships, and I'm so thankful for all of the ones I have, and especially her, because we've been through so much together, both like as we have aged, but also we're both educators, so we can just say something within the education field, and the other one of us just completely understands. And it's really nice to have friends in the same career that you're in, because you have that nonverbal understanding of how you can just say a few words and they totally grasp what you're talking about. So that's always comforting to have. And having that little gift of hers and his in the morning was really great. Um, and so they were also past roommates that I had when we were a lot younger. And so we really were like family. And so I miss them a lot. And that was such a nice surprise to have. And then Thursday, I love Thursdays because I have a volunteer in my room to help with our students. And it's not just any volunteer, she's actually a great friend. And she had her kids come into my second grade class many years ago, and so I've known her as a parent teacher relationship, and now it's more just on a friendship level. And she was talking to me about her son and how he is thriving, and he is the star of a play, and I am so proud and pumped for him, and I really hope that I get to go see it. And I'm just so excited to hear that he's doing well. And then I also had one of her other daughters as a student in second grade that I still get to see on a daily basis because she's still within the school that I work at, which is fun. But on this Thursday, she had celebrated her husband's birthday, and her oldest daughter has really gotten into baking and cooking, and she made her father a birthday cake. And um, my volunteer said, "Oh, we had to bring some in for the teachers because otherwise we would just continue eating this delicious cake." And it was extremely delicious. And I would have thought that this cake was from a professional bakery. Her daughter is very talented and skilled at what she does. And that was a yummy treat that really did give me even more energy and excitement for that day. And I was just honored that she shared some of that piece of cake that her daughter made. And she did it for other colleagues in the building as well. And that was just so generous. And not only was it generous that she comes and she brought in the cake, but that she volunteers because she doesn't have to do that. And it really does make Thursdays so much more smooth in a variety of ways. Just the overall atmosphere of the class. There's more adults to help with the needs of the children. There's more time to process and have those genuine conversations. And I just love Thursdays having her in the class. And so those make my day. And then later um, on that same day, it was also our school counselor's birthday. And I was really excited for that. And I was sad though, because that was one of the days where we had a lot of impromptu meetings that had to happen and lots of variation in our schedule. So I never got down to get to see her to wish her a happy birthday. But our class did make a card that we all signed, and we had a student bring it down to her. So at least she got the card, but I was really sad I didn't get to wish her a happy birthday. But she is a wonderful part of our school community, and so many people lean on her for emotional support. And I just hope that she had a wonderful day to be celebrated and know how special she is. Um, and then I also was awarded our school's Golden Apple at one of the assemblies, and the apple goes to a teacher each month, and the previous teacher gets to honor another teacher and pass it off each month. And we were in an assembly, and we got to see some wonderful performers from the high school jazz band and singers come to present to our school. And our kindergarten classes has had career groups going on. And so unfortunately, we had to leave the assembly early to continue on with those career groups because we had other visitors and volunteers coming in that day. And so we couldn't change our schedule around. And so I didn't even have any idea that I had been awarded this apple until later in the day. And it was our school counselor that came and told me about that. And so that was really nice. And it was such a hectic time of the day transitioning from the career groups and making sure the kids went back to the right classrooms and that everyone was settled that I honestly didn't even know what my colleague was saying when she was giving me the item, let alone enough to wish her a happy birthday, because we were walking and moving with our classrooms. So I did end up, now that I'm thinking about it, I did end up getting to see her, but we didn't get to have any personal conversation. But that was a nice part of my week. And then Friday, we just today is Friday, and we got to do a lot of small group stations, and it's just wonderful to see my students' progress, just hone in their skills and be more confident. And it's such a special moment to see things click for students. And it seems like this week we had a lot of that, which I'm always proud of, and I'm always so excited to see. And so those are a lot of the things for my personal life bubble that were so happy and exciting this week. And so moving towards the signs from our loved ones, and I had given 4 signs in the previous video, and I think I'll try to do 4 more signs in this video. And so one of the signs that I see on a daily basis and witness is when we see phrases or names of our loved ones who have passed on billboards or signs, or just phrases that they used to say, or family inside jokes. I love when those pop up, especially if they're not common. I know that my dad's brother, my uncle, he used to say whether he was going to a baseball game or a family gathering, or if he was eating a really delicious meal, he would say, "This is really good stuff." And I remember one time I was eating a Dove chocolate, and inside the wrapper it would say these quotes. And one of the quotes that I had opened on a day that I had been thinking about my uncle was, it said something in the phrase of, fill your heart with joy, and it was like, fill your heart with joy and eat lots of chocolate. It's really good stuff. And the really good stuff part was just my validation that my uncle did realize I was thinking about him, and that was his way of showing me that he was near me and that he knew that I loved him and that he's still with me. Another item that I see for signs is when colors pop up that are your loved one's favorite color. For me, I know that my mom's mom, my Nana, and both my Nana and my mom, they look so beautiful in the color pink, a soft pink. And so whenever I'm in rooms or see objects that have that same exact tone, or not tone, like shade that was theirs, I always think of my Nana right away. And I haven't been to many households or buildings that have shades of pink painted on the walls, but I was just recently at a conference, and I had been in a room, and it was a really nice shade of pink, and I instantly thought of my Nana. And it was funny because the conference was all about teaching kids strategies and how to help them learn and become confident. And my Nana was always such an amazing Nana who could make her grandchildren feel loved and appreciated, and she was always everyone's biggest supporter. So the soft color of pink just was a perfect way to remind me that while I'm learning about children and thinking about my Nana, how they just intertwine so nicely. Another element that I feel that is a sign from our loved ones is when we see butterflies or feathers, or even if it's one of our loved ones' favorite animals, whether it's a drawn picture or painting, or if it's the live animal. I can think of 2 really like strong memories that mean so much to me. One of them is when I was on a whale watch. My family had always had a tradition in the summer to go on whale watches. And for me, that's like my spirit animal. I just feel so connected to whales. and they're so graceful, and they're just gentle giants, and they have so much love and social emotional intelligence with their pods. But anyway, I was on a whale watch, and I had been thinking about somebody who loved butterflies. And you would think you're in the middle of the wide ocean, and you're far away from land, but all of a sudden, after I saw a whale jumping out of the water, I looked to my left and I saw a butterfly on the railing of the boat. And then all of a sudden it just flew off. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, how did that butterfly get all the way out in the middle of the ocean on this boat? Like, I was hoping it could make it back to land. But it was really special because the fact that a butterfly was out there was very rare. And it was exactly what I had been thinking about with the person that I had lost. And so you had these giant whales who were so graceful in the water, and then you had this little dainty butterfly that was very graceful in the air. And it was just it just reminded me of a yin and yang. And it was a really special moment. It was really meaningful. And then another event where there was items like feathers that were involved, but there was also a written word that was one of my loved one's name. And so my mom and I had been heading down to Massachusetts for my cousin's baby shower. And on I think it was the same day we were heading to her shower, but we had stopped to get something to eat. But there had been a line and there were a lot of people waiting. And so we were out on the sidewalk waiting to go in. And all of a sudden I looked down and I saw the name written in chalk. And I can't remember if it was chalk or paint, but it was white. And it said Tom, which was my mother's brother, my uncle. And it was the father of my cousin who was having the baby shower. And not only did I see his name in white letters on the sidewalk, but when we were waiting, a huge gust of wind came and all these white feathers just fluttered around us. And it was incredible. And that was really meaningful for me. And I really just felt like he was right there with us. And so there's so many of these events that I feel happen to a lot of people on a daily basis, but a lot of us just, I don't know, they just reason it away and they don't look further into it for the spiritual meaning behind it. And I just think that I feel like we do need to slow down, and we really need to look at those things, because I do feel like we're all connected. Whether we're living or whether we've passed, we're all energy. And I just think scientifically that just resonates with me, that we're all connected in some way. And energy cannot be destroyed, and it's always just transitioning from one phase to another. So I don't know, all of these elements and all of these signs for me are clear indicators for me that those are my loved ones trying to reach out and say, we're here and we love you. So yeah, I think that's where I'll leave it tonight. And I hope you all are taking care. I love you all, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.